Hey mom, it's me, James. Happy birthday, and I hope you like your website and your videos. But I'm going to do my video for you. Now, I have seven moments or seven things that I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to show how much I love you by um, how these things mean to me and how you have affected my life over over the course of all my life and everything. So I just wanted to share this stuff with you. First of all, there's no way that we can really write down and list all the memories that we have because you were like a memory machine. If anyone is around you for long enough, for longer than 5 minutes, they're going to have a memory. And because memories and traditions are so big for you. And the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that when I think of memory, if someone asks me what are some memories growing up, immediately I think of camping trips. All the camping trips that we did when I was little was just so much fun. I loved going on camping trips and uh, in cabins or in tents or on the beach or in the mountains. All the We went camping so much. I sometimes feel like that camping is like my second home when I was growing up because that's just the first thing I think about. And there was just so much fun. We had so much family time. Also, we always had friends with us. And I just remember that the trip, you always made sure that we all had fun. That's what you wanted us. You wanted to go out there, and the goal was not to go camping, but to have fun. And so I just remember I had so much fun on those trips because your goal was to make it fun for everyone. Now, part of that fun was all the food that was there. And I remember specifically that almost every time we went camping, there was always a ton of amount of food. You would never go hungry if you wanted a camping trip with us. In fact, there'd be so much food that it looked like we weren't camping. It looked like we had moved our entire house because we had so much stuff. And I remember specifically when we went to the Channel Islands or Catalina Islands, one of the islands off of California, and here we are with all these backpackers, and we're just carrying a ton of food, and we have ice chests with us, and I just remember um, that, and then that also brings out the memory of when it rained and our tent got soaked, but it was still fun because we wanted to have fun, and that's what was awesome. Second thing I wanted to talk about was something kind of weird that probably not many people would mention, but um, all the times that you showed me the Bible cartoon videos, all those cartoon videos, the old VHSs before we had DVDs that were made by like Focus on the Family or something, but they're all Bible cartoons. They have Bible stories. Those actually mean a lot to me because I learned a lot. And it's funny now, even now as a seminary student working on my master's degree, if someone mentions a story in the Bible, if someone says, "Hey, do you remember the Good Samaritan story?" Immediately my mind pictures the story in those cartoons. I mean, a lot of growing up, I knew that I knew so much about the Bible, and mainly it had stuff to do with those stories that I watched. And you had showed me those stories. You didn't want me to go watch some stupid cartoons on TV on Saturday morning. You had me show cartoons that actually have eternal value. They weren't meaningless, and that showed how much you cared and how important it was for me to grow up on biblical values and stuff like that. The third memory is a funny memory, and I don't even need to explain it. I just need to say it. Ouch! I bumped my head. Of course, that's a fun memory. I don't remember much about it, but of course we have video to confirm it. And really, it shows that you were understanding with my sense of humor, and you weren't thinking that I was some crazy kid that needed some special education or anything like that. And also, that brings out the memory of you always telling me how I argued with you that the ground is moving when we were on the train instead of the train moving. So, yeah. Number 4 I wanted to talk about was whenever I got sick, which was pretty much almost once a year. Whenever I got sick, I knew that I was going to get special treatment. I was going to be treated like royalty, and I was constantly going to have you by my side helping me out, and we were going to be laughing watching I Love Lucy movies. And sometimes when I got sick, I looked forward to being sick, and that's how awesome it was. And on top of that, it wasn't just when we were sick, but when we got hurt. If we went outside and we stubbed our toe, we'd come inside and we knew we were going to watch an I Love Lucy and we were going to eat chocolate chip cookies. And so those times just showed how much you cared for me, and they meant a lot to me. Number 5 is actually a haunting moment. It's a moment that has haunted me my entire life, and that's when you videotaped me preaching in the shower when I was little. We now have a audio record of my first sermon, and it has haunted me, and it will haunt me for the rest of my life. But the good thing about this is that if I ever get discouraged from my sermons that I preach, I can always know that I'm going to go and I can listen to that video and see how much I've improved. So, but no, it's just a funny moment that we can share. Number 6 is when the first time I had come back from college, and I ate a home-cooked meal by you, I realized that I had been treated very, very well with your cooking. You have amazing cooking, the desserts, the meals, I even loved eating vegetables and spinach. I don't know if it was just because you sprinkled some love in it and that's all you needed to do, or I don't know. But I loved the food that you made. You just made great food. And I remember just coming back from college at one time and I realized, man, I'm missing out being in college. And that was freshman year. But luckily, I came home every weekend, sophomore, junior, and senior year, and so I didn't really miss out too much. And lastly, something that's been really important to me is how you have supported me over the years in minor and in major decisions. And, some major decisions that come to my mind is, number 1 is when we switched churches. That switching the church is probably the single most important thing that happened in my life, besides the obvious. But that's just something that's like an unobvious thing that was very important to me. Being able to switch to that church is exactly where God took me. He took me to Valley Baptist, to the youth group. He had me build relationships there and make connections there, and it completely changed my life. The Lord used that, and you supporting me in doing that and going to the youth group and actually switching churches for me, being there, really, really meant a lot to me. And I don't know where I would be today if it weren't for that switch, if it weren't for Valley Baptist Church and you supporting our move there. Another thing that is in my decision for college, supporting my decision for college because I didn't know exactly for sure what I was going to do. I had some ideas, but some things had changed, and I knew that whatever I was going to choose, you were going to support me. And lastly, this decision that I made for my wife, and you supporting me in that area really is important to me. And the support really was that you knew that I knew that I was going to be supported by you no matter what I chose. And you also you were still being balanced by if something needed to be said, you were going to say it. If you needed to say something to me, whether I was going to like it or not, you would say it. But you'd say it in a loving way, and you wouldn't. You loved me enough to tell me the truth. And so supporting me in those decisions and all my life in different areas has been really important to me. I would not be who I am today if it weren't for you and your influence in your life and what you've taught me, everything. So I just want to thank you for that, and happy birthday, and I love you.